So welcome everybody to another episode of our Secrets to Goal Achievement Mastery Sunday Mastermind. And I am so excited that you're here. So happy to see your beautiful faces. Tonight we have a pretty powerful topic. This is a topic we have talked about in the last month's summit, the Profitable Spirituality Summit. And Ingrid is joining us from that summit, and a number of you attended that summit. And we're very grateful that you're here. So I wanted to get right in. I'm going to share my screen, and I put together a few slides. And what I want to do is facilitate a discussion tonight about paradigms about financial freedom. What does that mean? What facilitates that? What stands in the way of that? Let's do some brainstorming and let's see what we come up with. So I'm going to share my screen. And all right, there we go. So can everybody see that? Everybody see the PowerPoint? Awesome. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about changing our paradigm about financial freedom. And first we want to take a look at some of the paradigms. There are basically two paradigms that I wanted to look at tonight, and they come from two opposing sides, right? So first off, let's give a definition about financial freedom. Maybe some of you could, one at a time, unmute yourself and just let me know, what does the term financial freedom mean to you? Because I think it's important. If we're going to talk about paradigms, let's talk about, what does financial freedom mean to you? Jojo.
It means to be able to support myself comfortably, take care of everything that I need in the moment.
Okay. Support yourself comfortably, take care of everything you need. Who else has a definition of financial freedom? Summary.
For me, financial freedom means that I am secure in knowing that I have access, I have easy access to the resources that I need for thriving, for living, for meeting my obligations, but also for thriving.
Great. So you've taken a step further, and that is, not only do we have enough resources for what we need to sustain us and run our everyday life, but that we have the resources to go into the future, right? And give us the opportunity to do a number of things beyond just getting by.
Yeah, so I have another part of my definition.
Okay.
Which is that I go to work out of choice, not because I have to.
Okay.
That's also another succinct way of thinking about financial freedom.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in on their definition of financial freedom? Nancy.
I was just thinking about it right now, and financial freedom to me has a sense that financial issues, whatever they may be, are not bigger than I am. They're not out of reach for me. And I have lots of areas, but whatever they are, that I can accomplish whatever I need to financially, and I am not less than they are.
Excellent. Okay. Anyone else?
This is just an aspect of it, but for me, it's not having unnecessary debt. So I had that a long time ago, and once I took care of that, there was a lot of joy, more fun. You know, I could do what I love without a burden.
Okay, so yeah, that's in line with having what you need to do the things you want to do in a number of areas and not being pulled down or feeling trapped or overwhelmed by debt. In other words, the negative balance, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely. That's an important aspect of financial freedom, hence the word freedom, because freedom means you're free versus when we are deeply in debt, we are chained, you know, to, you know, this debt that is, you know, weighing down on us that we have to dig ourselves out of just to get back to being even, right? And unfortunately, we live in a society where it's very, very easy to get in debt. It's very, very easy to borrow. It's very, very easy to pile up the credit card debt. Today, unfortunately, for folks who, you know, go to school or are looking for, you know, expensive formal education, it's very easy to get into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt when you're going to expensive colleges and universities, you know, graduate level, professional degrees. So that's very, very important aspect of financial freedom. That is actually being free and not being a servant to debt. So very good. That's real important. Anybody else?
Thinking about how freedom would be not having to focus on it primarily. It's not about the money. I'm not saying it's not important, but that it's so well established that you can put your focus into more creative endeavors. It's not your primary concern every minute of the day.
Yeah, excellent. So then where you are putting your attention, you have the freedom to put your attention in other areas rather than constantly having to focus every day on, you know, how can I get by? You know, what do I need? What do I need to do to get by today? Good. So, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm finding that it sort of starts with a state of consciousness of how I view finances and financial freedom. I can have a crazy amount of money and still not have financial freedom in my own consciousness. So I think for me, I'm finding it starts and ends in my consciousness. And then that's how I'm viewing everything that I'm experiencing. It's sort of, you know, being content with what I have and obviously all of the responsibilities and having to take care of them. But it's easy for me to go from that state of consciousness where I feel I'm empowered to that state of consciousness where I feel like I'm being affected and that my finances are kind of ruling me instead of them. So it's sort of an ongoing work in progress.
Well, you brought up an excellent point, Bruce. That is the perfect segue into the next point, and that is our state of consciousness is connected to the paradigms that we attach to the subject of money, the subject of finances, the subject of financial independence. And you talked about something very important, Bruce, and that is everything starts from a mindset. Everything starts from where our focus is, our attention is, our state of consciousness, and what do we see as the reality that we are operating from. And that reality comes from experiences we've had in the past. It comes from, you know, possibly our background when we were growing up, you know, the financial situation and the attitudes about money and finance of our parents and grandparents, and the situation we, you know, entered into when we were growing up. And so we encounter, you know, this polarity between a state of consciousness that assumes and expects abundance versus a state of consciousness that assumes and expects scarcity. So let's take a look at scarcity, and then let's take a look at abundance, and then let's look at what are the shifts that need to be made in order for us to move from scarcity to abundance. Because it's not just about going out and making more money. You know, if you don't have enough money, go out and make more money. It's not just about that. The making of the money is a byproduct to going through the process of making some changes in our paradigm and then creating a structure that is harmonious with the new paradigm, the new state of consciousness. So these are some characteristics of moving from or coming from a state of consciousness of scarcity. And over the last year, you know, and also, you know, back around 2008, and then back around, 1987, and then back, 29, and during the Depression, this mindset was very easy for us to slip into. This mindset of there is not enough, right? I'm worried because I don't know if I'm going to have enough. I feel trapped. I feel powerless. I feel I'm working from a place of there's lack. I don't have enough. I've never had enough. There isn't enough, right? I feel resourceless, right? I don't feel I have not only opportunity, but resources to do better, to be more financially free, right? Or I'm a victim. This happened to me, that happened to me, or they did this to me, they are doing this to me, they are limiting my capabilities, they're limiting my access. Or part of this scarcity paradigm is I'm trapped. I'm trapped, I don't see any way out. There's no doors or windows in this room anymore. I'm just floating in debt, or I don't have enough. I can't pay my bills. I can't support myself. I'm trapped, right? Or we get into, well, the reason I don't have enough is I'm not worthy to have more, right? I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not resourceful enough. I'm not creative enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not, whatever the enough, that illusionary enough is, we feel that we're not enough because maybe that's how we grew up, or maybe we had a setback where we tried to do better. We tried to get ahead. We tried to be promoted. We tried to start a business and it didn't work. And after the one failure, we just said, well, I failed, therefore I can't, right? I'm not qualified. I'm not worthy. Or we can go the reverse. We could go the reverse and say, wanting more is not spiritual. I should be grateful for what I have right now. I shouldn't want to have more money than I have now because money is the root of all evil. Everybody knows that. Or everybody knows that money leads to greed, and greed leads to being a really awful person. And I don't want to be an awful person. I don't want to be like those awful people I see on the news, right? I don't want to be like that, right? Or another aspect of it is, I have just enough to get by, and just enough is okay. I should be thankful I have just enough, and just enough is spiritual, just enough. I don't want more, don't need more, don't want to have more, don't want to expand, don't want to, travel any further, learn anything more. I'm happy where I am. I have just enough. Can any of you recognize any of these paradigms in either yourself in the past or people you know, people you grew up with? Can any of you see any of these aspects? And have any of you seen these at work to create limitation? When I say at work, meaning in the process of creating limitations in your life. Yes or yes? Thumbs up. Come on, we've all seen these. And we've all played these. We've all said these at one time or another, in this lifetime or another. We've all been experiencing these things. And that's just a part of being soul. Being alive is we have these experiences. It's what value, what importance, what weight do we put on them, and what do we allow them to do to our ability to choose to move in a higher direction, to expand versus contract, to plan to have more so you can do more and be more, right? These things are all there as part of old programs that resulted from old experiences. But we do not have to be trapped by them. Right? Just as these were experiences we've had or situations we observed and decided to accept and adopt them into our state of consciousness, that was a choice. It may have been, an unconscious choice, but we also have the power. We also have the power to choose a different paradigm. So I'd like to hear your definitions of abundance. Right? You talked about having enough to pay the bills or having more than enough, but what is it inside of you that you recognize are opportunities to create abundance? Right? Abundance. It means recognizing you have limitless possibilities. You have limitless creativity and problem-solving capability. That regardless of what the resources you have tremendous resourcefulness to go out and find what you need, to do what you want, to be what you want. Another aspect of abundance is cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Another aspect of abundance is recognizing the power of using abundance to serve others and develop a sense of generosity that fuels your desire to use your resourcefulness and your creativity to create opportunity that creates more freedom for yourself and for others. So again, you can unmute yourself, raise your hand, unmute yourself, but what do you have inside of you that enables you to do these things and tap these things? What have you recognized that you have? What have you used in the past that has given you the opportunity to create more freedom, more abundance? Let's hear some examples.
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence. Self-confidence, very, very powerful, very, very important. And Ingrid, where does self-confidence come from?
You ask me?
Yeah, where does self-confidence come from?
Oh, self-confidence. It comes from love for oneself, I would say. Love for oneself, and to believe at yourself as soul, as having the strength to do it, and just love. I think just love. Yes.
So self-confidence comes from self-love, And it also comes from past success, right? If we are looking to move in a certain direction, we can develop self-confidence in a couple of ways. One is we could have had the experience of already done it successfully before, and then we simply have to look back and say, ah, there's the proof. You know, we're looking for the proof. There's the proof. I did it before. Or if we didn't do that exactly the way we are trying to do it now, we could say, I achieved something similar before. Therefore, I know I have the capability of achieving. So I'm confident that I can take those same abilities that are inside of me and I can apply them to this new task. Does that make sense? Yeah. I call it transferable confidence, transferable success. And so when we are looking to move our paradigm and our attitudes from scarcity to abundance, we want to start cultivating that self-confidence by looking at previous situations that we were successful in and then analyzing what were the things I did to create success. What were the things that I did to create the confidence? What did I need to do in order to expand from where I was to where I wanted to be, and then duplicate that? Who else has something to share about abundance? Summary.
When you said, what is the state of consciousness? What came to me is abundance for me is the combination of absolute, it's not the combination, it's the balance between absolute reliance on the inner and taking action. And that taking action kind of like, it's that same thing of when you were talking about confidence. I don't know if it's confidence, like I'm taking action with the absolute certainty that things will turn out well in the end. They may not turn around like the way I'm thinking, but they're gonna turn around, excuse me, for my growth and for my benefit. So to me, that's the state of consciousness that's abundant for me. Great,
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, having that knowingness, which is part of being self-confident, right? And it's also part of being loving, you know, to oneself, having a loving attitude. But having that knowingness, that belief in yourself, that I can do it, but by taking action rather than just postulating, rather than just having an affirmation, right? We can have an inspiration and we can have an aspiration, right? We can have an affirmation, but unless we take action, it does not become a reality. And therefore we need to have a plan, right? We need to have a plan, a strategy, and a number of resources and a number of components to move from scarcity to abundance. Kimberly, you were going to share something.
Yeah, resourcefulness is one of my favorite words because to me, like the life force or divine spirit it's everything. And so if I'm needing help, I can always go back to the source, resource, you know, so go back to the source. And that's one way I tap into abundance.
That is very, very important. And that is the source of everything. You're right. There is a source of everything. That force, spirit, the force, whatever you want to call it in your belief system, it is what creates and sustains and evolves everything. So would it not make sense that if we are looking to expand in our state of consciousness, and we are looking to expand our resources, we could look to the source of all resourcefulness, the source of all creativity, the source of all things, and look, how can I connect more deeply? Then how could I be more useful? And then how can I work together to where it's a win-win, to where I'm expanding my capabilities, my resources, my resourcefulness, and I'm expanding my capability to serve and to provide to others with generosity. So excellent, excellent point. Thank you.
Nice.
Emily.
Hey, yeah. I'm thinking that to bring more abundance takes a certain vision. And I have an analogy for that because I have house plants. I've always had like at least a few plants in my home. And often I will forget to water them and they'll start to kind of, wither and dry up. And recently, I realized that my vision of my plants was that I wanted them to stay the same. And I decided to change my vision and look at the plants as if they had this great potential to grow. And I was imagining like filling out with more leaves and getting bigger. And it's really changed the way that I treat my plants, I have to say. And it really had to start with that vision of being able to imagine that they were actually going to grow. They weren't going to stay the same. They were going to actually grow bigger and more full and more abundant, So I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit of what I'm working on is how to hold that vision and really, believe it and bring life to it, I guess, water it.
Now that is a really powerful analogy, the plants and their growth and our expectation, right, which comes from our vision. And we're actually, you're leading into a really great next part of this discussion. But Jojo, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that one of the ways I'm learning to tap into abundance is by using the already achieved higher self.
Yes.
And meeting with my team of VPs. And every time a limiting idea comes in, I just kind of nip it in the butt. And even if I'm not too comfortable or confident about something, it's just, I think Samarit said that too. And it's like just that knowingness that, I'll get through it. I'll find a way. It's using the tools that from the program, from the Mastery Journal with gratitude and things to do and not to do, that I'm able to now see this, not just like this, but like this. It's like the horses, the horses kind of like. So now I feel that I used to kind of do that, and then I would look big and like that. But now I'm trying to stay with a higher vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're bringing up two really important points. That was my vision when I created the Goal Achievement Mastery Journaling program that many of you have been through. That was my vision, was to set up an opportunity for you through an organized step-by-step process, begin to open up the possibilities, open up your ability to determine what is my vision for today, what is my vision of myself, what do I see as a possibility for today, right? And then how do I take action to make that possibility a reality? What are the things I need to do? What are the things I need to not do? What are the people, places, things I need to associate with that are supportive? What are the ones that, right? Gratitude, setting the goals. What am I grateful for? How can I bring more wisdom, love, and freedom into the world through doing this, right? Slowly but surely, we were conditioning our vision. We were conditioning our self-image. We were increasing our self-confidence because we would see little wins every day leading to more and more wins, more and more success, more and more confidence at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter. And so for those of you who are joining us for the first time, what I'm speaking about is I created this program, the Daily Goal Achievement Mastery Journaling System. And it is a combination of time management, personal development, personal inspiration, gratitude journal, dream journal, values study program. And it really helps take us from a state of consciousness of limitedness to one of limitlessness. And this is what we've been talking about. So great points, Jojo. So yeah, you're really leading into this next thing I want to talk about, and that is these components, right? These components that lead to abundance, that take us from a state of working from scarcity and then allowing us to expand and move from a limiting paradigm to a limitless paradigm. And these are the components. It starts with the mindset, right? It starts with first, before we can change anything in our lives, right? Before we can change how much money is our bank account, before we can change what job we have, before we can change what business we have or how that business is working, we first had to get to work on what is our mindset, what is the paradigm we are holding as true, how are we limiting ourselves or liberating ourselves by what we think, the images of what we think and who we think we are, what limitations we think we have and what limitations we're holding on to, right? These are all part of our mindset. So even before we can have a vision, we have to find out and deal with who are we and where are we right now. And that's why those of you who are involved in the masterclass, the Your 9 Steps to Goal Achievement Mastery Masterclass, step one, we work on self-assessment and self-discovery to determine the components of a positive, constructive mindset, right? Because if we come into wanting to make a change and we have very clear understanding of our capabilities, our confidence, we love ourselves, we're confident in ourselves, we know that we can expand, we know that we are enough. When we've done all of that work on the mindset, then the next step is to become clear on the mission or the vision that Emily talked about, right? So when we look at abundance, moving from scarcity to abundance, we want to make it a mission, not just a wishing, right? We don't want to just keep wishing for it. We want it to be a mission. We want it to be a campaign. We want it to be a mission that we are completely committing to inwardly and outwardly. And that we have a very strong, unshakable why, right? Because that strong, unshakable why is what will carry us step by step, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, right? This consistent mission, this vision, this super strong why. Because your why is the difference between succeeding in achieving something and not. Because it's a matter of, if you know what you want to do, right? If your what is really super strong and you know how to do it, right? You've had the training, You've invested in the guidance. You have a mentor. You have, you know, schooling and all kinds of the hows, right? Guidebooks and courses, right? You've got the what, and you've got the framework for the how, and you've got the when. You know that I'm going to do this. It's going to take 90 days. It's going to take 6 months. It's going to take a year. But if your why is not solid, if your why, the reason why you really, really want to achieve this, right? And you are not anchored in that why, then we are going to vacillate back and forth between I'll take 2 steps forward and then I take 3 steps back. And I can tell you, I did this with my quest to lose weight for decades, because I would take 2 steps forward and then I said, you know, this is a good place where I'm at right now. I'll hang out here for a little while, right? You know, it's not exactly my goal. As a matter of fact, it's nowhere near my goal, but it's like maybe 25% of it. And boy, but look at the progress. I went down a couple of inches, you know, I can wear different pants. This is a good thing. And then slowly we lose the passion, we lose the why, right? And it's the same thing with, you know, expanding prosperity, right? We can say, oh, you know, I want financial freedom. And so then we get a promotion, or we find a new job, or we start a business, and we get to a certain point, and now, wow, you know, I can afford to do a little more now. I can afford to spend a little more now. I can afford to have a little more now. This is good, and it's enough. So I'm going to take my attention off of it for a while. You know, I know what I'm doing, and I've got this thing going, and then we start to lose momentum, right? But it wasn't until, for me, when I looked in the mirror and said, oh my gosh, when I started this journey, right? When I started the goal of wanting to lose the weight, I was less than 30 years old. And I felt I had all the time in the world until I had a 70% blockage in the major artery. And fortunately, we went to the hospital, and I had days before something bad was going to happen, right? But that woke me up a little bit, and that put me back on the road to moving ahead. My why got really strong, right? When I wound up in the hospital and they had to put 2 stents in, right? I was thinking all about my family. I was thinking about my wife and my kids. I was thinking about my spiritual responsibilities. I was thinking about the people who depended on me. And I said, I need to change. And so I did for a while, and, you know, another notch on the belt. You know, the scale goes down a little bit. Oh, progress, this is great. I'll hang here for a little while, right? And then I went backwards, and I blew up, you know, several pant sizes, right? But I was busy, you know, I'm busy. I'll get to it. No. So having the mindset, then developing that strong mission, that strong why. And then I had to seek out some mentors to teach me and guide me so that I do not slide back again, right? Do not slide back. And then I also, with the help of mentors, took the next step, and I created a management plan, right? Okay, yeah, I know I need to lose weight. And I know that in the end, the total loss is going to be 85 pounds. It's a lot of weight, right? So I took the 20 that I took off a decade or so ago. I said, okay, that's 20 towards the goal. And then as of today, I dropped another 25 since the end of June, right? So now that's 45, all right? Now I'm feeling a sense of momentum, and I'm feeling that, yes, I have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan about mindset. I have a plan about my desire is so strong. I have mentors who are helping me. I have a plan of recording everything that I eat. I have a plan of recording every bit of exercise. I have a plan of what foods to stay away from. I have a plan of when to eat. I'm doing some intermittent fasting. And so now I have a plan. The plan is working and I have confidence in the plan. Now I have confidence in myself. And if it was, instead of losing weight, if it was accumulating more wealth, once we have mindset, mission, mentor, and the management plan, then we look at, all right, what are the things I need to add to this that will result in more resources, more money, or the opportunity to make more money, or the access to other resources that can be exchanged for money, or reduction of debt, which makes me have more money at the end of the month, right? So it's not enough to have the plan, but you need to take action to monetize the plan. Everybody understand that? Thumbs up or thumbs up? Is yes? Yes or yes? Good. Okay. Okay, then once we have that plan, and once we have a means of monetizing it, the next M in this list of M's, we have to find a way of marketing. Marketing our plan, marketing our monetized thing, whether that's a product, whether that's a service, whether that's a role in a company, you want to take a higher role to be paid more, whatever that monetization strategy is, that needs to be marketed to the world. So in one way, shape, or form, we have to take what it is we have set as our goal to do and to have, and we have to be able to communicate that out to the world through marketing. Doesn't matter what it is you are selling. If you're a teacher, you need to market your ability to teach the information and the quality and usefulness of the information to the right market. So part of marketing is connecting a valuable resource with a market, a person, a group that wants to pay for that, that sees the value in that, right? Then once we have a solid marketing plan in place, we need to be consistent. We need to be repetitive. It's not enough to just do it for a day or a week or a month and say, that's enough marketing. I'm tired of marketing, right? You have to have what we call in direct marketing, you have to have marketing stamina, right? It's like becoming a marathon runner, right? You don't say, you know what, I'm going to run, I'll run a quarter mile today, I'll run a half a mile tomorrow, and then I'll run a mile the next day. And my 5-mile marathon is next week, but that's all I'm going to do. You know, that's pretty good. You know, maybe a day or two before the marathon, I'll start running again. You're never going to be able to run the 5 miles and survive it. If you're not doing something, you're not taking action, constant, consistent action, and you're not doing it every day, right? If we want to move from scarcity to abundance, and we've done the work to change our mindset, and we've done the work to create a rock solid nuclear powered mission, right? A why. And we found the right mentors, and we've created the right plan, and we know how to turn that plan into financial results, and we know how to market it. But if we only do it a little bit, you know, haphazard, or we limit, you know what, I'm kind of afraid of marketing. Maybe I'll just talk to my friends and family and neighbors, and you know, I'll do a post every once in a while on Facebook, and you know, it'll work. I've got a great idea. It'll work. I just wrote this amazing book. People are going to want it, right? And it becomes a million seller. There are a million copies in your cellar, and that's about it, right? That's why the momentum is important, to have constant action, repetitive action. And also part of that momentum is measurement. I didn't have room to stick that in here, but measurement is part of what creates momentum, because we need to be measuring the results of the activities we are doing, because some of it might be great and some of it might be absolutely awful. And if the things are not working, we have to stop doing the things that aren't working, even if they're comfortable and attractive and easy. We have to stop doing the things that aren't working and start doing the things that will work and help us achieve our goal, even if they look difficult and scary and require hard work. We need to measure, and then we need to manage the change in order to maintain the momentum. And then finally, we need to do this. We need to carry that momentum beyond a day, a week, a month, a year. We have to be consistent and be willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to make slow, gradual, maintainable progress. And if we do that, if we combine an expanded state of consciousness, right, the right, balanced, focused, positive mindset with a powerful mission, a powerful why, and we have the right mentors, we have the right management plan, and we have the right monetization strategy, and we're doing the right marketing, and we keep the momentum, that will lead to mastery. And when I say mastery, it means attaining and maintaining the level of consciousness and the corresponding level of freedom that you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to stop talking here, open it up to you folks. What do you think about this? What is your reaction to what I presented tonight? Maybe just what's the most important and valuable thing you heard tonight that you are going to look into? Let's start with that. Who wants to share? What's the most important thing here? Ingrid.
Yes, what you said is to make it your mission. This is really hitting me, because I have a spiritual mission, but to make a mission to make money, it's something new to me. This is something I haven't allowed myself to, and it's immediately it expanded my consciousness, and I'm very grateful that you said so, because something clicked already, So thank you, Mike.
You're very welcome, Ingrid, and you brought up a very, very important point, is that, oftentimes we look at our spiritual mission, right? And we know what we need to do in order to achieve that, but we forget we also have to sustain our physical self. And the more resources we give our physical self, the greater the mission that we can accomplish. And when I followed this plan, I was able to start not only serving my spiritual mission in my little state, but I started having the capabilities to serve all over the world, right? I had the ability to invest and create opportunities to bring awareness and enlightenment and powerful spiritual tools all over the world. And I wouldn't have been able to do it had I not expanded my resources. This is important. So thank you for that. And by the way, Ingrid, since you're joining us and you came from our summit, you have my invitation for a free coaching session for me to sit down with you for free and help you sort all this out into a game plan for yourself so that you can take steps. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mike.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So we'll talk about that. Okay, thank you, Ingrid. Who's next? Who else would like to share what they received from tonight's mastermind? Jojo! You go, Jojo!
Well, you know what? I'm thinking everything, like, I really liked the abundance piece and all the components with the scarcity. And I can actually see this whole thing now with all these M's. I missed that they were all starting with the letter M until you mention it. But I can see even how I've been able to implement a lot of this in my goal achievement and how it works, I still can do a lot better, but I'm getting there. So I really love everything. And I've been doing a little bit of everything, and I've been able to see some of the results from following this, your why, and having a vision, and working with a management plan, and implementing marketing tools, and measuring all of that, and building momentum. And the mastery part will come. It is coming, but I know it's working for me. So thank you. I love it all.
Yeah, it is definitely working for you, Jojo. And I'm so impressed looking back a year ago.
Yes.
And seeing you now with the confidence and the excitement, enthusiasm, and all of the tools that you have gained and put to work, and how also your dedication in using the tools, right? And the confidence that you've built in your ability, because you can do anything you put your attention to do. You absolutely can. You've proven that to me. You've proven that to the world, right? You can do and be anything you put your attention on and you put your commitment to, and you use all of these M's. And there are many of you there. I will add another M, but I can't write it down and can't record it. But there is another M that many of you know about, kind of probably sits around right here. But that's really an important component. And so, folks will find their mentor. That's what coaches are for. And that's what I do for people. By being a coach, I'm really serving as a mentor to help clarify all of these other things for people, help them formulate it and put it into a plan and follow the plan until it produces the results that they're looking for. So thank you, Jojo. Thank you not only for sharing that input, but thank you for being such a shining example of what is possible when somebody uses the tools, that I provided. And everyone here tonight is an example of that in one way or another. And all of you have made incredible progress. All of you have been shining from day to day, week to week, month to month. And I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to see that growth in you, because you did it. I provide tools, I provide guidance, but you guys do the work. Mm-hmm. You do the work and you earn what you have, right? Who else? Who else would like to share something they received that was important tonight?
For me, can I?
Sure.
For me, the mentor part and the marketing, it's everything as I'm looking at it now is so important. But for me, what I'm working on now is the mentoring part and the marketing part that you suggested during our consultation. I have also to look into that. It's there's so many aspects to this, getting into this mastery that I have tested a few of them. And when I put that focus, put that effort, it actually manifests. And so I want to now do that, do more on those things. I have the plan is there, but maybe I need to strengthen it. Maybe everything here for me is it's just awesome. And actually the marketing part was an eye opener when you mentioned that, because I had no clue how that was going to happen or what I could even do about it. And now that I'm thinking of it and talking to somebody about it, it's going to come together. So I thank you, Mike, and I thank everybody. I thank Kimberly Young. I think she's here somewhere. And she's been a great inspiration as well.
You're very welcome, Bridget. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for sharing, and also your gratitude.
Yeah.
You all the time, every meeting, you express so much gratitude, and that's a real key to success.
Yeah.
Right? So thank you.
Okay. I think you have a hand up there.
All right, who's next?
There's somebody with a hand up.
That was Bruce. Bruce, your hand was up. Do you still have something you want to share?
No, that was just from before.
Okay. Well, while I have you on the line, what was one of the things that you felt were really valuable that you got from tonight?
Well, the need to be consistent and persistent amongst when things don't go according to plan. So you can set things up and have this mindset and want to work with that mindset, and then things don't go the way you plan them to go. And for me, it's staying the course at that moment. It's almost working against the tide when the tide is real strong, because eventually the tide's going to go out. You're going to be fine. But it's so easy to fall back into those old ways of thinking when things don't go according to plan. It's almost like you fall right back into that normal, like let's say weight loss. It's okay, here it comes again. And so there's really a need to be attentive of where I'm at in my consciousness on a regular basis, because if not, I can find myself just in those negative realms of thinking and, acting as if for the wrong things. I can find myself in that place and not even be aware of it. And I'm working continually to become aware of it and then make the change. But it's so easy to just kind of not be aware of it, and off you go. You're going down the wrong stream again. And so that's part of the need to be really consistent and persistent.
Yeah, those very, very important. I love consistent and persistent. I love that. And again, a lot of the things you're bringing up and what you share comes over here with the the measurement and the momentum. We know it's not enough to just know what to do. We need to do it, but we need to do it consistently, and we need to measure the effectiveness of what we're doing, because we might have to change our approach. This plan may have to change, may need to be adapted, right? And that's okay.
Yeah.
But unless we are actually measuring results, and we are stopping and looking at what's working and what's not working, and then make changes to the plan, right? You're going to get, if we don't change, we're going to get the same thing over and over. Like Einstein said, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. but that in not planning and not measuring the results of what we're doing on a consistent basis is insanity, because we're not making any adjustments. We're not making any changes. We're wishing and hoping that, it's like somebody has a store and they're losing money every day, right? And so they say, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up a second store. So we're going to open up a second store. We're going to do exactly what we did in the first store, but it'll be a second store. So we'll make up for the losses in volume, right? And there's a lot of businesses and people who think that way. Well, my plan isn't working that well. I'll just have to do more. I'll have to work harder. I'll have to, we'll just make more product and sell more product, right? So it's really important that we measure and we make changes to the plan. So great point, Bruce. Thank you. All right. Is there anybody else before we close tonight?
Mike?
Yeah.
I think what I want to add is it's back to where Ingrid was saying, is abundance, is that state of consciousness part of my mission? And so these M's here are all making sense in terms of the outer plan, like I've created a product and I want to bring it out and sell it. But then I found myself wondering, is abundance truly my mission? And then when I start to have this management plan and I am monetizing it with resources, because it's an inner thing, right? I'm developing. And then I came to marketing and I said, well, who do I have to market to? And it was really myself. How do I market to myself that abundance is indeed part of my mission, that it is aligned with my values, and that I have to give to it a little something every single day, consistent? And then how do I measure? How do I measure that? Is the needle really shifting in terms of my inner attitude towards abundance, in terms of, am I getting more and more on board with the mission of abundance? And that's what I'm taking with me. That's the,
Yeah. I totally understand. And if the why is very, very strong about your mission and your plan is really clear, and this is where most people fail. They have a general idea. I have an idea that, I want to serve life and I'm going to do it by doing it this way and sharing this talent or this knowledge I have, but they have not yet broken down the plan in enough detail to where they see, all right, in order for me to achieve my goal, because if you don't have a specific goal of what abundance means to you, right? In other words, X number of dollars per month revenue, if you don't have that broken down, if you don't have that set, that, okay, for me to feel like I'm abundant, I need to move from just barely paying the rent or paying the bills to having an extra $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $2,000 a month. Before you can answer the question you just asked, you need to know what it is your goal is. You have to be specific about what is it I'm trying to reach. So I know that if I want to double the number of people that I'm serving right now, I need to double the amount of time I use my virtual assistants and double the amount of marketing that I do. And if I break that all down into goals, I'm going to need to invest an extra X number of thousands of dollars a month to do that, right? It becomes very clear if your plan is clear. If your plan is not clear, all these questions we're asking,
Yeah.
they're meaningless, right? Because you have no way of judging what abundance is, and you have no way of judging what it is you need to do your mission, right? A lot of us feel, I have this mission, I have this drive to serve, I want to be a vehicle, right? This is all beautiful and wonderful, but it's not specific enough to identify what is it I want to do, how am I going to do it, when is it going to happen, what are the resources I need in order to do it, what talents and resources do I have right now, and what additional talents and resources do I need in order to carry out the mission. Most of us don't do a plan that detailed. But if you do, then that question you asked would already be answered. Because you would know exactly, I know I have the passion for the mission, but for me to accomplish it, I need to do this in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? And in order to do that, then I'm going to need resources to do that. And then you develop a budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Excellent, excellent point. And I hope that, you know, many of you were listening to what I was saying, because that, it really proves the point of the importance of having a detailed enough plan, which is the framework, which is the how, right? But nobody will do the planning of the how if their why isn't strong enough, right? So they're all really important. And again, with a mentor, with a guide, a coach, somebody who's done it, who can take you through it, it becomes real, becomes very, very real. Excellent, excellent point. All right, well, we've gone a little bit over, but I thought what we discussed was extremely valuable. Thank you for the excellent questions and the excellent points. So I want to, I'm going to stop the screen share here so I can see everybody. I think it's time that we end this session tonight. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining me. Those of you joining us for the first time, so grateful and happy that you were with us. I hope that you see that this program is one really devoted to serving you so that you can serve your mission and understand the opportunity for a more abundant life, and also the framework, the formulas, and the support that you can have in doing that I'm dedicated to providing. So I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your contributions of thoughts and great points tonight. I love you all. I am so dedicated to seeing you achieve your goals, to achieving your mission, and to having the confidence in yourself that you can do whatever it is you set your heart, mind, and spirit to. That's what I'm here for. So thank you. Have a great night. Have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.